started playing the guitar when I was 7, and it was actually the American folk singer-songwriter John Denver that made me fall in love with the guitar. And all his songs were guitar-based and strumming chords, and I just loved them. There was one in particular called This Old Guitar. It really just gave me this really romanticised notion of the guitar. So I nagged my parents, and they caved in, and I started having guitar lessons when I was 7. And I didn't practice like a sort of prodigy type person, but I never stopped loving the guitar and never wanted to stop playing. So I had an entirely normal childhood, and quantity of practice for me increased as I got older, and I've never ever fallen out of love with it. So really, although for me the big influences in terms of the classical version of the instrument would have been John Williams and Julian Bream, it was really originally the music of John Denver that got me started on the guitar. This is Rodrigo's incredibly famous guitar concerto, the Concierto de Aranjuez. And it was written by Rodrigo in 1939, and it really is the pinnacle of the whole classical guitar with orchestra repertoire. The first movement has this lovely, light, airy feel. And the whole piece is incredibly evocative, but the opening in particular, really does conjure a sense of bright, sunny Spain. The slow movement is the most famous and has a tune that any classical music buff or virtually anybody will have heard, which is this. So, and the guitar shares that tune with the cor anglais, a large oboe, and once again, it's probably the most famous solo for that instrument in the whole orchestral repertoire. And the last movement is really light and bouncy, almost throwaway, and starts with the guitar on its own. And it's really short, it just flies along at 1,000,000 miles an hour. So the interesting thing is that most people will know that lovely famous tune, but not necessarily be so familiar with the outer movements. But they're incredibly fun, incredibly appealing. It's a wonderful piece for people who know and love the repertoire, or for people who are coming to a classical concert perhaps for the first time. If I was offering advice to young musicians, the main thing would be to practice little and often, to not binge practice. The way we learn things is best if they're drip-fed in over a period of time, rather than trying to cram it all into one day. And it's much more fun. I mean, for kids, even if they do 10 minutes a day, that's so much more productive than 60 minutes on one day of the week. So really, in many ways, and as that goes on, the same principles apply. And to just enjoy it as much as you possibly can. Playing a musical instrument is a lovely non-verbal thing to do. It's a great way to express yourself, and it brings all sorts of social and intellectual benefits just working with other people. It's an incredibly life-enhancing thing to do. And the number of people I speak to who say they wish they hadn't stopped learning their instrument in their mid-teens is incredible. So don't give up.